there, Pokemon trainers. We're back.
Mm-hmm.
We're back from Gen Con. We're still recovering from Gen Con, but, we're back. We're here.
Mm-hmm.
We unfortunately were very unprepared for how hectic Gen Con was going to be, so unfortunately we didn't have any time to really check out, the Pokemon events.
Mm-hmm.
But, we had a good time overall. And of course, as soon as we get back, we come to find out that, oh, by the way, there's 50 new announcements that we have to get through. So
we're gone for a week, and they're like, "Hey, here's the timeline of a product release for the next 4 months. Have fun, kids."
So without further ado, we're gonna break it all down.
Mm-hmm. Some of these will be breezing over a little quickly, just because they're not very exciting. But the ones that do deserve our attention will be getting it.
Mm-hmm.
You want to start us out?
Yeah, so the very first one that's starting us out is perhaps one of the best timed ones is going to be the Hisuian Zoroark V-Star collection that is releasing October 28th, right in time for Halloween with its ghost type. Gonna have 6 packs with it, the V-Star. It has the nice little acrylic marker. It's gonna be nice.
Yeah.
Hisuian Zoroark has been a card I've been looking at curiously, so I'm glad to see that we're getting this in a box, and also guaranteed this will be the only way to get the full art form of it. So
yeah, at least for the foreseeable future.
Mm-hmm.
Should be standard MSRP of $39.99, so right around the same price the previous 2 V-Star collections with Lucario and Cleavor. Well, this one a little bit better. Moving on past that.
Also, you notice bouncing back and forth between our phones and the tablet. The tablet was not wanting to cooperate today, so.
So then, here's one we're just going to kind of quickly skip over real fast. We have the second set of the stacking tins coming out. These are going to be featuring firefighting and darkness types. It's just the arc on the tin. It's just the standard, I believe it's $12.99 a tin. 3 booster packs and the plastic coin that comes standard to every Pokemon product at this point. Not really exciting, just kind of a nice little way to get 3 packs and a very useful tin, at least.
Yeah.
For $13.
We saw these tins probably 3 or 4 months ago with the grass, water, and electric ones. So now we're just seeing the expansion with the firefighting and dark ones. Yeah. Again, nothing different between the 3 other than the artwork on the outside. So after that, we have.
Actually, so I have. That's a little bit of a big one for you.
Oh, why do you have to give me the Charizard? Oh. So we've known for a while that we were going to be seeing not 1 but 2 ultra premium collections dropping this year. For a while, we knew one of the ones that we'll be talking about a little bit later was the Arceus one, is the one that a lot of us have been looking at, and then of course it's just been revealed that the other one that we will be getting is Charizard themed. No surprise there, just me being disappointed because I don't like Charizard.
Spoiledged V Max, and V Star Charizards in it. It does have an MSRP on it, which is $119.99. However, if any of the previous premium collections are to show, unfortunately, it's very unlikely to see it at that price. I believe the Zacian Zamazenta ones got as high as $200 on release, and then the Celebrations, I believe, was around $300, if not higher than that, almost everywhere to look.
Yeah.
I'm hoping these will be much more plentiful, so they'll be closer to their original pricing, but secondary market's going to exist, and unfortunately, people with large credit limits are going to take advantage of it.
But yeah, the reason this has, outside those 3 edge cards, the reason it has such a high price tag is we're getting metal damage counters in it, metal coins. They usually come with 18 packs, I want to say, or
this
something.
One specifies 16 booster packs.
16.
Yeah.
So you're getting a lot of packs. So ultimately, it does end up adding up to close to that MSRP as it is.
Yeah, metal dice, metal damage counters, metal condition. It's a very nice collection, but it is definitely for the person with some disposable income. Moving on past that one, we have. All right, actually, you know what? I'll pass this one off to you as well, as this is the one you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, this is the other one that we know about is going to be the Arceus one, which is also going to be. We're probably going to be seeing Arceus V-Star with it, and we're likely going to see an alt art or either an alt art Arceus in some form, or potentially even a gold etched one like we saw with the what was it? The Zacian and Zamazenta collections. But we don't have too many details just yet, other than like the standard 16 packs, usual.
Yeah, although this is actually estimating based on the Charizard, which we did get confirmed for, so they're guessing that it'll likely be about the same price with the same contents, where because there's going to be there's no Arceus VMAX, likely it'll be an alternate art or an etched art for that V-Star.
What I find fascinating, though, is that they mentioned one foil stitched playmat, which I'm not sure what that means, as I don't think we've, at least the Ultra Premium collections that have been coming out, we haven't seen playmats come with them.
Yeah.
So if that is something that's going to be part of it, it'll be interesting. I'll be interested to see what it looks like.
Yeah. I think on the Charizard one it did say we were getting a playmat, but it was just like Charizard V-Star playmat. It didn't give any, like, so that it's foil etched. That's interesting. Moving on, this is another one we're just going to kind of quickly skimp over because it's not too exciting. It's just, we got Hisuian Electrode V scheduled for November, early November 4th, to be exact. Again, I'm assuming this is going to be your standard, like, $19.99 MSRP, 1V up front, and then I believe it's usually 4 or 5 packs.
4 or 5, yeah.
Yeah. Which, scrolling down the article, it does not specify the amount of packs, but did specify the $19.99 MSRP, so yeah. Pretty sure we can make a safe guess on that one. Then coming up, we have the Hidden Potential Tins for October.
Yep, these are... oh, sorry.
No, it's October 14th to be specific.
These are the general tins that we typically see with any releases. These 3 in particular are going to be featuring Giratina, Gallade, and Rotom. All in their V forms. The American release will have 5 packs. The European release will have 4 packs. I'm still sad because I definitely like the European boxes more, but you know, beggars can't be choosers, especially if we get more packs for it.
Yeah. for $24.99 though, so I don't know. Maybe we ask Pokemon Company nicely that we'll drop a pack for minus $5. Anyways, that.
But yeah, we typically see these tins with almost like every release or every other release, probably. So.
Now this one, the Deoxys VMAX and V-Star Battle Box and Zeraora VMAX and V-Star Battle Box. This is something you were very excited about when you saw it. So
mostly because this is a new product that we're going to be seeing. Not something we've seen before. Where it's from a lot of what we've been seeing about it is it's kind of a way to build up both decks in particular. Later we will be receiving, I believe they are the level 1 decks for Zeraora and
Deoxys.
Deoxys, thank you. I almost said Zeraora because I'm stuck on Z right now. But they'll come with both the VMAX and the V-Star versions of both these cards. And I believe, as of right now, that might be the only way to receive them, but I could be mistaken.
Yeah, let's see. Each box will include a form of its VMAX, and V-Star. Jumbo version of the V-Star, 4 booster packs, a strategy guide for using the cards in a deck, the acrylic marker, and a code. Each box is $29.99. And then, yes, you are right. Deoxys V and Zeraora V will be the next round of V Battle decks, the level 1s, for $14.99 each.
But yeah, this is a really interesting move on Pokemon's part, just because again, it's a brand new product, but they're marketing towards turning that level 1 into something better.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm interested in. It's not like DLC, but it's just like purchase this, and then you also want to purchase this as well because they just go together. So
moving on, we have just yet another V box. This is Virizion V. This one's scheduled for, I believe, mid-October. And again, it's going to be in the same vein as the Hisuian Voltorb, where it's a V and some packs.
Voltorb? Electrode,
sorry.
I know you like the Hisuian Voltorb, but yeah, I believe all 3 of them, there's supposed to be a third one as well. It was Virizion, Electrode, and there's supposed to be a third one. I think they're releasing all around the same time, so we're getting a lot of V boxes coming into the holidays.
I wouldn't be surprised almost if this, because I know in the past they've done, what was it? Dragonite V and Hoopa V that were in the same box together. I wouldn't be sure if that's another similar thing like that, where it's just going to be a case of 6 has 2 of each V box.
It probably is.
But then on to the thing that I was excited about when I was looking through all the news to come out. We have the Trick or Treat booster packs, specifically because it features obviously the Mimikyu, which I will rant and rave on about. And thank you, pop-up ads, for getting directly in my way as soon as I tried to scroll down this article. There we go. The bundle is $14.99. There we go. It is a 3-card booster pack that comes with Halloween-themed Pokemon, including Zubat, Gengar, Mewtwo, Pumpkin, Mimikyu, and Poltegeist. They feature a special Pikachu pumpkin stamp, and the mini packs are sold in bundles of 40. So bundle is $14.99. Okay, so 3 packs for $14. I'm hoping that that means for $15, or not, sorry, for $15 you're getting like 40 of these mini packs as kind of like a Halloween give out thing. Because for $14 you're getting 9 cards. That's ooh.
Yeah, we'll have to look into that one a little bit
Yes.
more.
The intent is for fans to give these packs out at Halloween parties in place of candy. So I'm guessing it's probably like the bulk bag for candy for Halloween that stores always have, where you just get to give out 3 little cards for $15. Or
That's cute.
Yeah. I think that's fantastic.
All the cards that are going to be featured in it are, of course, reprints. Like they're showing in particular, I believe that's the Heel Jammer Mimikyu.
Yep.
So again, nothing like, oh my god, you have to drop your wallet for these. Just a nice little treat,
Yeah,
as opposed to a trick.
They picked cards that were not going to make people buy these packs out in hopes of making an easy profit. And finally, not finally, sorry, I believe there's 2 or 3 more to go. This is actually just a duplicate article that I must have opened. There we go.
Oh yeah, the one I'm excited for. October 7th, we're going to be seeing V-Star Premium Collection for both Dialga and Palkia Origin Form. Like, I'm excited because literally after, 3 boxes, 2 ETBs, countless other packs, we have yet to see hide nor hair of Palkia.
Yeah.
And this will just be a nice way to, finally get those in my hands.
It'll also hopefully help affect the price of Palkia and Dialga on TCG Player, because they're still surprisingly expensive for how long the sets have been out.
Dialga, not so much. Palkia, yes. What'd you say? Palkia was sitting at like $28.
Well, yeah, I think the cheapest I saw was like 23, and the usually median was like 25 to 26. So if you're able to buy a $40 collection, get a V Star, and also a bunch of booster packs, that will hopefully drive it down a little bit to a more reasonable, let's say $10 to $15 would be my estimate after this release.
Here's hoping, at least.
There we go, and then finally we have the Heavy Hitters Premium Collection, which is 4 foils of Lucario V, Tyranitar, and Tyranitar V. I believe that this is kind of a weird dual V box where it's 2 of the 1999 V boxes they do, just slapped them together. And I believe I'm gonna call it right now. I'm just scrolled. Okay, no word on price. I'm about to call it right now. It's gonna be $39.99 because they can't do anything nice.
I don't know. I'm gonna say $34.99.
Maybe.
Or $29.99. I feel like because they're not like V and V Star or V and V Max, that's probably gonna bring down the price a tiny bit. But they're dubbing this the Heavy Hitters Collection, so
yeah, we'll see. Looking at the image real fast, curse you, pop-up ads. I know that you need to make your money in advertising, but so it does look like there are 2 pins in the collection as well as 2 coins.
Oh, then maybe it is going to be a little more expensive.
Yeah,
darn it.
Yeah, but we will see. Let's see who's closer when we get the official price point on them.
And that's, I don't know, that's like the long and short of it as far as like releases come. Oh wait, no, there's actually one more release on the horizon. Incandescent Arcana is going to be the next set in Japan, featuring none other than Alolan Vulpix V-Star. We've had a chance to see Alolan Vulpix V-Star in general. It's ridiculous. Pokemon literally went hold my beer as far as a card that slots into literally every deck. Alolan Vulpix's V-Star's attack is completely free, and it does 70 damage times the amount of your opponent's Pokemon V. So you can be doing up to 350 damage for free.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I already saw kind of a decline in the amount of VV Max decks where people are starting to favor a little bit more on the single prizes, at least in our area. that might be the final nail in the coffin when that releases, where it's like, okay, do I gamble on running my V deck, or do I make the change to a single prize deck specifically to dodge around that?
Yeah, it's. We also know that this set will be releasing in the West in November. I want to say it's like November 12th is the official release. I could be mistaken on that. At the very least, it's going to be an early November release, right in time for the heavy holidays, like Thanksgiving, Christmas, yada yada.
Yeah.
But just to see a basic Pokemon, Vulpix, being the feature is really cool because we don't see it that often, other than like Pikachu. Pikachu.
Yep.
Pikachu. Too many Pikachus. But yeah, no, it's kind of cool to see, a basic Pokemon that's well loved, especially in Japan, with Lily just getting that love here. Yeah. So I'm excited for the set and whatever it will bring.
Yeah, that does it for the product releases. Now we're going to move on to a little bit in news, I guess would be the best way to put it.
But this is news.
First and foremost, the Pokemon Company is starting to give out half decks, which are little 30-card decks featuring Greninja V, Lucario V, and Umbreon V, intended for new players to sit down and kind of learn how to start to play the game. Kind of close, basically half of the V decks they release pretty much quarterly for the $15 price point. Specifically, the reason that I'm kind of interested in these is that the Vs in these decks are non-foil. And this is the first time they've ever done non-foil of any V Pokemon in the game. So I'm almost wondering, well, my fear is that luckily they picked, not too spicy ones, but I'm almost afraid that someone's going to get their hands on what?
You're going to tell me that Umbreon didn't dominate the meta for a month.
I'm skipping over I'm talking about Greninja Lucario. But I'm wondering, my fear is that are people going to try to get their hands on these to get a premium on the non-foils of these Pokemon?
Yeah, unfortunately, these were released during Gen Con, which, again, we're very disappointed we did not get to see these.
Yeah, they didn't make any note that it was like, hey, come learn how to play Pokemon, receive an intro deck.
But it's also just really nice because this was something Magic used to do, they probably stopped in 15, 16?
Yeah, I believe so.
Where they had 30, 40 card intro decks that just pretty much let you sit down and learn how to play. So it's kind of like a nod to that almost, except it's Pokemon Company, so 10 years after after Magic stopped it, they're just like, hey, we're going to keep that going.
Yep. Yeah, they do specify that they're given to organizers to teach new players, specifically approved professors are allowed to get these and teach. We're hoping that might be something we can get our hands on, even just as hey, now we have our 3 30-card learner decks in store, that if we do have someone who's new to the game or wants a refresher, we can sit down and show them a quick, brief game of Pokemon that doesn't require us to grab, a $15 deck off the shelf, sleeve it up, and play it that way. So I'm guessing these are probably meant to be, it gives you the same experience of that 60-card level 1, but in half the time.
Half the time, and just, it cuts the cost for them as well, because I don't know. I'm almost wondering if this is their way of maybe slowly getting rid of the this level 1s, or starting to put the level 1 specifically with the battle boxes that we just talked about earlier.
Fair,
of course, this is just speculation.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I'm most thinking back to all the games that I did with level 1 decks, where it was one player got their V out really early on, and then it was 10 turns of up you take a prize, up you take a prize, up you take a prize. It doesn't really feel like you're playing Pokemon. It just feels like you're kind of sitting across the table from someone with a V out and going, yeah, you're just going to win this game in the next 6 turns, but there's nothing I can do about it. So hopefully with a little 30-card condensed down, you don't get that, kind of very underwhelming introduction to the game. Moving on past that, continuing in their trend, we are going to be seeing the first of the Scarlet Violet cards at Worlds.
This does not specifically mean that we're going to be seeing a brand new Pokemon or anything like that. We're going to be seeing the new mechanic. This is a trend they've been doing for the past several years. This is how they introduced Tag Team. This is how they introduced V. a GX, like, I'm excited. Honestly, right now, my prediction is we're probably going to see a combination of both Burst and Deltas, where the Burst will be the Delta type that Pokemon get through Terralize that we're seeing in the games. Again, this is just prediction. We'll see here in, like, what, 2 weeks?
Yes.
August 18th is when Worlds start.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll definitely at least try to have that stream up when it happens, because I would like to see it live, although I'm slightly resigned to the fact I might have to just watch it on YouTube after it happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Moving on past that, we have something that's kind of important, at least for us locally. They've released their alternate play handbook for formats like Raid, 2v2 team battles, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, they also very nicely broke it down into fun ways to play it at different levels for the beginners. Poke-catch, booster fun, basic battles, things like that. Intermediates, pack battle, menu of limitations and achievements. And then to the advanced format, you have team 2v2s, raid, gym leader challenge, and ditto draft.
This to me just feels really nice because a lot of these formats seem like they were created by fans, and the Pokemon company was just like, that's a phenomenal idea. We're gonna help teach people about it, because I know Gym Leader Challenge was not made by Pokemon at all, and the fact that they're going, yes, we love this format. We're gonna make a guide on how to make your own Gym Leader format deck.
Yep.
Like, I'm excited. A lot of these formats I'm not familiar with at all. I know I was definitely reading into the raid format because I was intrigued by it.
Yes.
So
yeah, looking at the advanced format specifically, like, we currently run our weekly Pokemon League, but I've always talked about, like, hey, maybe in the future we have our weekly Sunday leagues, and then once a month or something we designate a day, a Saturday or maybe a Sunday, that we do an alternate format just as kind of like a fun little way to spice things up, so you're not just doing the same thing week in, week out. It's like, hey guys, that way we can go, hey everyone, next week on Tuesday we're having raid format, and explain what raid format it is, or like, hey, anyone who wants, in 2 weeks we're doing Gym Leader Challenge, and just kind of keep different formats on the table so that everyone can kind of mix it up, bring a different deck, try out something. I know the 2 or 3 of the guys recently have been saying, like, they really are enjoying Gym Leader Challenge, so they've been meeting up before we even run our local leagues to just do some games of Gym Leader against each other, because they just really find it fun. So that's something we absolutely want to keep on the table for them, even if it's not necessarily like a regularly scheduled event, but like, now the first Saturday of each month is Gym Leader Challenge Day, and we run it as such. I don't want to go into too many depths there, because if they are watching, I don't want to give them any spoilers of what we're planning.
But if you are watching, we appreciate you guys.
Yes.
Thank you.
And then finally, last but not least in the news, it had already been kind of confirmed through our local customer base that Lost Origins ended up on the shelves of certain big box retailers. So a lot of them got out into the wild.
We won't specify which big box retailer, but it does have a bullseye.
Yeah,
so
literally. But we did see 25 more new cards, and I'm gonna guess that our usual news sources are intentionally not giving us articles on the full contents of the set, because they want Pokemon Company to be able to do that on their own terms when they want to, rather than lots and lots of grainy photos taken on someone's, carpet, because they managed to get their hands on booster boxes months in advance.
Yeah, one of the cards I'm happy to see, I've been talking about a lot. Volo is finally getting his print in the set, as well as his full art, so I'm ecstatic. I'm so happy to be able to use him in play. Granted, our local meta doesn't really need him that much anymore. It's still nice to have.
Yes.
But we'll also be seeing, other than like the big named ones that we've already talked about, we'll be seeing some new full art trainers. Nessa's getting a new art. Chandelore's getting trainer art. Which Snorlax is that? Is that the black Snorlax?
No.
That is Gourmandise.
Yeah.
So Gourmandise Snorlax will be getting his trainer rare.
That is a new Snorlax.
Yes, it is. I apologize. It has the ability Unfazed Fat. Prevent all effects of attacks from your opponent's Pokemon done to this Pokemon. So, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah, although notably in parentheses always, damage is not an effect.
But it mostly is talking about like status effects, things like that. Still, it's nice to see that we're getting these. Hisu and Gudra V and V Star is getting its print finally. Also very happy for the sad boy. Maybe then he'll be able to be happy. But yeah, it's right around the corner at this point. What is it? The Build and Battle pre-release is starting in like 2 weeks, I think.
So, yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited to really sit down and look at this and see what this set has to offer.
Mm-hmm. And then finally, last but not least, this is something where I'm just going to put the tablet away and pass it off to you, because compliments of the diligent data miners on the internet, we got some new information on Scarlet and Violet.
Mm-hmm. Not only did Pokemon Company bring out a new trailer for us to see, they also gave us a lot more details of what we're going to expect. But then, like Nick said, we have the data miners to thank and those that are the leakers to tell us a lot more details than what we're used to seeing. So first and foremost, one of the main mechanics that we're going to be seeing is Terrorize, which it increases that type on the Pokemon. So a lot of the examples we're given were like Pikachu will have a stronger electric attack, things of that sort. Terrorize is also going to be rare. There's going to be rare typing for it, like you can find a Water Gardevoir, or the Flying Pikachu, which will be given out if you pre-order the games. These are only going to be available through raids or special means, which just, adds that really nice factor and keeps you playing with friends and family or people across the world even.
Yeah. It definitely feels like they are focused, like one of their main points when they first showed it was 4-player multiplayer. So I've got to think they're going to be digging pretty heavily into getting it multiplayer and keeping people engaged with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, we saw with, Sword and Shield, where when you turned the internet connection on, you could see other players in your world, but you couldn't really interact with them. Like, sure, you could check out their camp, but that was about the extent of anything you could do. So I've got a feeling that we're going to see a lot more, like, hey, here's a big Pokemon, let's all team up, go after it, or, like, let's go do a raid and make it multiplayer.
Mm-hmm. It's also nice because along with just having this sort of open world format, like with being able to play with people, your friends, or just other people in general, they're literally making this an open world game. You can go in the gym. You can go to the gyms in any order you want, which is very much a first in the Pokemon because it's always been you go to this gym, and then it's always been linear.
Yeah.
In this one, you can literally tackle the story whichever way you want, as you want to, and that's awesome. I'm so thrilled that this is something that they're trying. Like, of course, everyone is also nagging on the graphics. Like, oh no, how could they submit a graphic with all these pixels showing here? Like, it is what it is.
I would rather Pokemon Company put a lot of focus into making the gameplay and the story enjoyable experience, because in a lot of their older games at this point, it's gotten very linear. Like you were saying, where like the Crown Tundra was nice. It was very fun just being able to kind of go out and explore and catch Pokemon that way. But like with the story still being the very straightforward, go to Gym A, go to Gym B, go to Gym C. Mm-hmm. Oh no, here's a quick branch off because Team Bad Guy's doing a thing, and then you're right back to your straight line all the way to the end of the game. Kind of looking at how they did Legends Arceus, where they made that a lot more expansive, a lot more open world, to where you're allowed to go out and just do what you feel like. You're not strictly tied, like, oh, you want to catch this Pokemon, but sorry, you haven't finished Gym 4 yet, so now you can't catch it.
Exactly. That's one of the things that always made me so upset, because it's like I would have like a favorite Pokemon that I couldn't get until I beat the 7th gym leader and got Waterfall or something like that. Like, this is such a phenomenal change. Like I said, I cannot sing my praises enough. Granted, it's still months out before the game releases. That could change. I mean, the open world aspect's not changing. That's like set in stone.
Yeah, it's kind of say like Breath of the Wild, where they said, hey, you're gonna still get your overarching story, but you approach it in whatever order you want. Where if you want to fight certain Ganons first, you do them in that order. If you want to do something differently, you have that ability, which I am excited for. I liked Sword and Shield, but it really lacked replayability, I guess is the best way to put it, because once I had my Pokedex finished, it was like, well, what do I do now? And they said, like, hey, here's your little DLC, but that only adds so much. And again, when it's a very straightforward, like, linear story, but just in a slightly new small island, you can only get so much enjoyment out of it. So I'm really hoping that this new open world formula will work well for them. And maybe that's exactly what Pokemon Company needs, is just, instead of, they move past, like, the games of old where they had their linear story, they had your catch your Pokemon, you got your decks done, congratulations, buy our next game. They're going to work more towards the, hey, we're just going to give you a large open world to do whatever you want, and that should hopefully tie you over for a year or two until they're able to put out the next one.
And actually, along with that, there's been a lot of speculation that we might be seeing DLC coming with this game. Some people have pointed out that some of the maps that they've showed has, like, the eastern part of the map clouded, which, looking at just general geography with the region being based on Spain, with the eastern part being clouded off like that, it's a potential nod that we might be seeing Kalos. Mm-hmm. Of course, speculation, but, that would be a great way to add in DLC where we can go back to old regions, or even potentially just have, like, a continuing story with the older regions. Mm-hmm. Like, we did just get the 4th gen remakes, but...
Mm-hmm. I mean, remake isn't exactly the same as, like, just tacking in, like, an additional piece to continue the story on, rather than just be like, hey, you're going to play the same story again, we're just going to tweak the content a little bit so it's aged better.
Yeah.
Which, like, and again, if they do decide to add in the DLC to add more geography, and that also is a nice way of putting in those forms into the game without making it feel kind of ham-fisted, where they just no explanation, suddenly you just get them now.
I mean, even if they handled it like what they did with Johto, where once you finish the Johto region, congratulations, you can go to Kanto. I'm perfectly fine with that. Like, I would love to revisit Kalos, because I know I didn't give it nearly as much love as I would have liked to. If Galar ends up making a revisit, I'll also be happy to revisit that place again, Galar as well. Like, the sky is really the limit in that. But, of course, Nick did mention the wonderful leaker. Well, not everyone's going to call them wonderful. The leakers, there has been a lot of other information going around, including the fact of we're getting similar to how we had, like, the monkey trio in 5th gen, where there's talk about getting a dog trio along Fido, and then there's going to be 2 others, both dark that are going to be dark type and ghost type, which are not typings we normally see, especially in, like, a trio format. Yeah. That's going to be phenomenal.
Yes.
Like, I'm excited to see it. On one hand, I'm, like, tired of dogs, but on the other, it's like the typing's different, so I'll accept it.
Yeah, I'm fine with them doing a little bit of recycling as long as they change something where, like, how we almost always seem to get, like, grass, water, fire trio, like, every single time, like, hey, we're going to do a new trio thing. It's always those 3 basic starting types. Whereas, like, we have so many types to play with now where it's like, even if they don't necessarily, like, make, the rock, paper, scissors triangling each other, do something to mix it up, Hey, we're going to give you a fighting type, a steel type, and an ice type trio just to make it different now. Because we've seen, the grass monkey, the fire monkey, and the water monkey overdone, where it's like, they're also the starters for every region, is you get those 3 same types, and you get your trio that has those 3 same types. It's like, just thank you. Please mix it up. Like, your games are successful enough, you're allowed to start branching off and trying out new tricks, see what does and doesn't work.
Which, I mean, this game already is kind of all sorts of new tricks, so...
Yeah. Go for it. Who cares if you make one really weird oddball game that doesn't seem to fit in with the rest of your mainline series? Like, if that game does well, that's clearly a sign they should start branching off and listening and saying, oh, wow, our 18-plus fans absolutely fell in love with this mechanic and this mechanic. We should try to build heavily into that because it clearly works, whereas the kids just enjoy, this aspect of the game, so all we really have to do is just find some way of keeping the younger audience engaged with catching the cute Pokemon or doing whatever they want.
They just want the strongest Pokemon to beat up their friends. That's pretty much all it ever is. Whenever kids come into the store, they're just like, yeah, I had my Charizard go against my friend's Blastoise, but because my Charizard had 9 million health, it was okay. But, yeah, things like that. We've also been hearing the new pseudo-legendary of this generation is going to be Dragon Ice, which typically most pseudo-legendaries we see in each generation has been dragon typing, so having it being dragon typing once again isn't new. Dragon Ice we've only seen with I almost said Palkia, and it's like, nope. That's Dragon Water. Q-Rem from Gen 5. So seeing that we're getting a chain base on this typing that we haven't seen that often is pretty nice. I don't remember all the other things. Yeah. Oh, actually, now I remember. Going along with the sort of like past versus future kind of theme that we're kind of seeing, there's been something going around called Paradox Pokemon. Now, obviously, there's no full details on it yet, but what there has been going around is that there's going to be past forms, sort of like past forms of Pokemon, and more futuristic forms of Pokemon. One of the examples I saw was a sort of mechanical Tyranitar, and then also I know Hariyama was mentioned to be some sort of sushi chef. I can't say that word correctly. Whether all these are correct or not is yet to be seen. We'll find out either when Pokemon tells us or when the game finally releases. But honestly, I'm excited just because having some sort of past versus future theme, the way the Paradox Pokemon sound, it fits in perfectly with everything. And it's just a nice little touch that isn't just, these are, the Whoopers are grounded poison type now, yay! But now it's just like, this Tyranitar is completely different. Like, I'm excited to see if that ends up being a thing or not. Of course, some of the version exclusives are already being revealed. Case in point, Tyranitar is going to be locked into Scarlet only, whereas the Salamence line is going to be Violet only. Violet. There's no N in there. Ice Q again, Violet, Stonejourner, Scarlet, and then Koraidon and Miraidon are also version exclusive, so there's going to be plenty more of those as more details come out. But they sure gave us a lot to start looking at and considering. Like, I'm excited for raids. I'm excited to see how Terralize just changes everything. But yeah. Let us know what you guys think. If you guys have any ideas on what the new card format might be, feel free to drop in the comments. We always love seeing those. But as always, I'm Nick. I'm Ash. I'm not Nick. I keep stealing Nick's identity.
Yeah, I'm definitely a victim of fraud now.
Don't worry, the IRS will just call you and be like, sorry, you're dead. Again. But yes, I'm Ash.
I'm Nick.
And as always, we'll catch you next time.